player that he's been.
That's
So,
goal. That
well
is
done.
super great research.
All right, the Giants and the Swans are taking on each other on the weekend,
Yes.
and you've got a bit on both.
Yeah, so the Giants don't want to overreact to that performance on the weekend. Okay, we'll get to the aspect that did go wrong, but there was a lot of other things that did go right. in that game. We talk about the post clearance side of things. Plus 17 against the Dogs in that area. They actually had more shots than the Dogs in that area, and expected scores actually had GWS winning the game by 2 goals.
Right.
Okay, they lost it by 32 points. One of the biggest swings that we've seen in our time of doing expected scores. So, reality check. It's not all broken and it's not all bad. Don't necessarily panic. However, this midfield group at the moment, I know there's been a lot of talk about this midfield group and potentially them being the reason as to why they're conceding so many entries. I just want to put 2 players on the radar. Okay, so Josh...
For good reason or bad reason?
No, for bad reason. We're putting them on watch. So Josh Kelly.
Yep.
Currently rated as a 271st player.
He was in the top 20
in the
last year.
competition. And his ball use. Tim Taranto and Clayton Oliver get criticised significantly for their ball use.
Yep.
This guy at the moment is in the Tim Taranto, Clayton Oliver category for how he is using the footy. 371st in the competition with what he's doing with ball in hand. And the other one...
Is he going for too much or is he kicking under pressure?
No, it's just a bit of everything. Just a bit of... And then the other one is Finn Callaghan. So, yes, his round 0 game was phenomenal. And, yes, on the absolute stat sheet, you look at, he's averaging 30 disposals a game, whatever. Impact. Since that round 0 game, 273rd rated player in the competition. So, without these two going as well as they need to do from a ball use perspective, the ball is living in their back half.
Yeah.
And it's putting this defensive group under enormous pressure that at some stage it's going to give. And I just wonder whether or not, if these two can't get going, what they potentially do with Lockie Ash, who right now is the second best player in the competition.
Yep. Leave him where he is, Horny. Don't create 2 problems.
I agree. But if we're here in 4 weeks' time and the same issues are still happening.
Toby Green, Horny.
Well, Toby Green started to go in there, but Toby's impact as a midfielder isn't nowhere near as significant as what it is as a forward. So I don't
Leave
know.
him where he is.
Toby.
Yeah, who else?
I'll be having a look at Lockie Ash, the best ball user in the competition. Lockie Ash. The other 2 aren't getting the job done.
Yep.
How long do you hold tight before you look at this magnet and what you do with him?
You can guess where Lockie Ash is going to be playing next week.
What about the Swans?
Swans, so there's a lot of uproar at the moment. 2-5, made a grand final last year. What's going on? Dean Cox making some moves. It hasn't worked. Sometimes it's just as simple as last year, there was no one who had a greater run with injury than what Sydney did. No, games lost to the best 22 last year, fewest in the competition and by a long way.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they've lost the 3rd most games in the competition to their best 22. Okay, so he has been dismantled from an individual perspective. And then you can lose games to your best 22, but then there's some certain individuals that you just can't replace. And Errol Goulden is that player for Sydney. So his ability to be able to connect with what he does, ball use going